This is an abridged version of our webinar around translating strategy into action in regional governments. The methodology we'll be outlining here is one that we've developed over the last 30 years of working in the balanced scorecard and performance measurement space. We have over 3,000 clients, about 1,000 of which have been from the public sector, and range in sizes from the IRS, U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff, down to small cities and regional governments like Dakota County and the region of Peel. Most of the books that Kaplan and Norton have written cite our clients as best case examples, as do most of the other books on balanced scorecards. 3 of our clients have been awarded the prestigious Hall of Fame Award from Drs. Kaplan and Norton. We simplify the scorecard process down to 5 major phases, and in many public sector organizations, this can be completed in as short as 5 days and typically under 5 weeks. The activity looks a bit like this. First off, we need to build the strategic linkages. We should be able to take your existing strategy documents, whether in the form of strategic plans or statements on your website or even just your monthly planning process, and out of that develop a strategy map. A strategy map tries to identify the core strategic objectives and categorizes them by perspective. Stakeholder, internal, enablers, and financial are in the balanced scorecard, but if you're using the Canada Quality Award structure or Baldrige, for example, we can use the 7 pillars if you're using Six Sigma and so forth. Secondly, the arrows indicate the cause and effect relationship. So in this case, for example, if we want to promote partnerships amongst our stakeholders, we need to make sure that in so doing, it either enables us to improve our business processes or enhances our community participation, both of which are in aid of providing responsible services. So the arrows show the relationship between the strategic objectives, and then finally the weightings indicate leadership's current priorities, whether those are for this year or this electoral term, or just to deal with some near-term issues. A strategy map. Now, from the strategy map, the next step is to add some performance indicators to those. Now, we should be able to harvest from existing data. Some research we did with Harvard indicated that the average leadership team only looks at about 7% of the data available. So across your public sector organization, there's more than enough data, typically, that we can find some performance indicators. Over time, we'll make them better, but at least we have a starting point. And we should be able to quickly provide a scorecard that shows how well we're performing. Are we meeting target, slightly below target, and significantly below target, and what the trend is over time. This allows management a dashboard or heads-up view of how the organization is performing. The next step is we should be able to take your core processes and map them next to the strategic objectives. So if we list the strategic objectives down the left and your core processes across the top, we can rate and rank how well your processes are supporting those strategic objectives. In fact, we can provide an overall score of how well each strategic objective is currently supported by the processes, the blue bar, and the gap between how your processes are currently performing and what we need to create strategic success, the gold bar. And in fact, we can do the same evaluation looking at your proposed initiatives and projects for this year and begin seeing whether they will address those gold bars or their shortfalls between what the projects are going to produce and the performance gap that currently exists in your government organization. So to summarize, the next step is identifying your processes and understanding their strategic performance capabilities, understanding your projects and are they going to address those gaps, and be able to provide a degree of portfolio management as we translate strategy into action. The next step is to address the management processes, both the management processes of collecting the data and reporting against it, and the management practices of using that data to make better decisions. And then finally, launch it. It's important to turn on this application as quickly as possible. So like riding a bike or test driving a car, you can learn from experience and make it better over time. To learn more, please join us at balancedscorecard.net, where seminars like this are covered in much more detail, as well as other related best practice information. Thank you for your time.